How you doing, folks? Papa Joe here. Reading a little news article here my son shared with me. Let me back up here. It's a long read. Some of you that don't give a damn about our country or politics, you might want to leave now. The true patriots that care about our country and want to know what's going on and know some truth, stick around a few minutes. We'll learn something together. I read 3/4 of it, not quite all of it. Let me what though was. Got me an orange and a grape and a strawberry and a mellow yellow down there. 99 cents a piece. When the last time you had a sun-kissed orange? Guess when was the last time I had one? Now it's all gone. Damn it. Okay. KFC at this low fuel stop I'm at. Okay. Trump wants to enlist local police in immigration crackdown. Phoenix. To build his highly touted deportation force, President Donald Trump is reviving a long-standing program that deputized local officers to enforce federal immigration law. The program received scant attention during a week in which Trump announced plans to build a border wall, hire thousands more federal agents, and impose restrictions on refugees from Middle Eastern countries. And they're showing where all these. But the program could end up having significant impact on immigration enforcement around the country. Despite falling out of favor in recent years amid complaints, dadgum, they should have peeled them oranges first. Despite falling out of favor in recent years amid complaints that it promotes racial profiling. So tired of hearing about profiling. More than 60 police and sheriff's agencies had the special authority as of 2009, applying for it as the nation's immigration debate was heating up. Since then, the number has been halved, and the effort scaled back as federal agents ramped up other enforcement programs, and amid complaints, officers weren't focusing on the goal of catching violent offenders and instead arrested immigrants for minor violations like driving with broken taillights. See how good I was? I kept my mouth shut. Sheriff Joe used this program most aggressively in Metro Phoenix, and he became arguably the nation's best-known immigration enforcer at the local level, in a large part because of the special authority. In a strange twist, he was thrown out of office in the same election that vaulted Trump to the presidency, mostly because of mounting frustration over legal issues and costs stemming from the patrols. In his executive order this week, Trump said he wants to empower local law enforcement to act as immigration officers and help with the investigation, apprehension, or detention of immigrants in the country illegally. The move comes at a time when the country is sharply divided over the treatment of immigrants. Cities such as Chicago and San Francisco have opposed police involvement in immigration, while some counties in Massachusetts and Texas are now seeking to jump in. Proponents say police departments can help bolster immigration enforcement and prevent criminals from being released back into their neighborhoods, while critics argue that deputizing local officers would lead to racial profiling and erode community trust in police. Cecilia Wang, an American Civil Liberties Union attorney, said police bosses who want to get into immigration enforcement should consider what happened when 100 of Sheriff Joe's deputies were given the federal arrest power. The longtime sheriff used the authority to carry out traffic patrols that targeted immigrants. The patrols were later discredited in a lawsuit in which a federal judge concluded Sheriff Joe's officers had racially profiled Latinos. The lawsuit so far cost county taxpayers $50 million. There are people like Sheriff Joe who have a certain political agenda who want to jump on the Trump bandwagon, Wang said, adding later that the Arizona sheriff was most vocal and shameless offender in the program. When asked to comment on Trump's effort to revitalize the program, the Department of Homeland Security spokeswoman said the executive orders would speak for themselves. Traditionally, police stay out of the immigration enforcement and left those duties to federal authorities. But a 1996 federal law opened up the possibility for local agencies to participate in immigration enforcement on the streets and do citizenship checks of people in local jails. Immigration and Customs Enforcement trained and certified roughly 1,600 officers to carry out these checks from 2006 to 2015. The Obama administration phased out all of the arrest power agreement in 2013, but still let agencies check whether people jailed in their jurisdiction were citizens. If they find that an inmate is in the country illegally, they typically notify federal authorities or hand them over to immigration officers. Today, more than 30 local agencies participate in this program. Alonzo Pena, retired Deputy Director of U.S. Immigration, I knew I kept hearing somebody, and Customs Enforcement, who once oversaw such agreements with police agencies, said some officers were using the authority in ways that didn't match the agency's enforcement priorities. Really? He said federal officials need to closely monitor participants to ensure their actions don't veer away from the goal of catching violent offenders and confronting national security threats. It's hard to regulate to make sure it's followed. How about if they're illegal, they're illegal. Period. In California, 3 counties nixed the program after state legislation and a federal court ruling in nearby Oregon limited police collaboration with immigration enforcement. Orange County still makes the immigration checks inside its jails and flags inmates for deportation officers, but won't hold anyone on behalf of federal authorities out of the legal concerns. The window has narrowed to a large extent, said Orange County Sheriff. With Trump in office, the program has new life. Even before the change in administration, 2 Republican county sheriffs in Massachusetts said they were starting programs. In Texas, Jackson County, Sheriff A.J. Andy Loudenbach said 2 officers will get trained to run immigration jail checks this spring, and nearby counties want to follow suit. Loudenbach said teaming up with federal agents will cost his agency roughly $3,000, a small price to pay to cover for officers while they're on a 4-week training course, especially in an area struggling with human smuggling. Once the program is underway, he said, Immigration agents will send a daily van to pick up anyone flagged for deportation from jail. It just seems like good law enforcement to partner with federal law enforcement in this area, said. It takes all of us to do this job. Experts said Trump's outreach to local law enforcement will create an even bigger split between sanctuary cities that keep police out of the immigration enforcement and those eager to help with the new president's bolster deportation. There is no question that in order to do the type of mass deportation that he promised, it will require him conscripting local law enforcement agencies, said Chris Newman, legal director of the National Day Labor Organization Network. The long-ass name. I'm sorry. You know, this is simple living with Papa Joe. When it all comes down to it, I am a simple individual. I really am. I mean, okay, I go a little bit deep on some stuff, but not that deep. I'm not a rocket scientist. I ain't a brain surgeon. But for the life of me, I do not understand what is wrong with keeping illegals out of this country. What is wrong with deporting illegals? I don't want to hear about how it tears the families up and all that. They knew that was the risk when they came into the country illegally and set up household. Back when I was a teenager, they had a saying, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Nowadays, it's do the crime and we'll forget about the time. I ain't really. I ain't a racist, I ain't a hater, or none of that. But I don't want you in my country illegally. I can't go to your country, and I don't care which country you're from. I'll bet you $1 to a donut that you have laws that are a hell of a lot stricter than us, and I bet you have penalties a hell of a lot stricter than us, that if I go to your country illegally, much less go to your country and want handouts or anything else, I'll bet you I'll be in deep doo-doo. I'll bet you. I don't understand why these so-called Americans are fighting to keep illegals in this country. They won't fight for our homeless. They won't fight for our veterans. They won't fight for those that are being taken care of or taken advantage of, I should say, or anything else. But they're damn quick to jump on a bandwagon to fight for criminals. And like it or not, if you are here illegal, you are a criminal. I don't want to hear about wait until they break a law. They broke a law when they came into the country without the proper channels and proper paperwork. Period. Just by the name of illegal alien makes you a criminal. You done broke the law. Out. I know people that want to come to this country legally, and they're having one big battle with our fine government and the red tape. But they're not coming in here illegally. They're trying to do it legally, and some have given up on it. And yet you want to play patty cake and babysit and cuddle illegals that came here illegally. And if you're watching the news at all, you will see now that Mexico finally admitted that they're getting like $26 billion a year shipped to their country from illegals in our country. They come here, work, and send the money to Mexico. And it might not be $26 billion, it's $26 million, whatever it is. It's a hell of a lot more money than I make. And these people come here illegal, work illegal, don't pay taxes other than what they buy, and they ship the money back to their country. But yet the bleeding hearts want to convince us that, oh no, illegals help our economy. How the hell are they helping the economy if they're shipping the money back to Mexico? Are y'all really that stupid? Are you really? Do you have a clue what you're talking about? And then you say, oh, they pay taxes and Social Security. No, they don't. Majority of them work under the table. It'll get me fired up. Hey, there's a little bitty room in that building there that's calling my name. I'm going to go visit and see what it wants. Y'all remember, God love you, so do I. Illegal immigrants, out. And I don't care what country you're from. Bye.